I would like to start with our words of inspiration today from one of our new Rotarians, Dr. Lynn Vidler. Dr. Vidler, please introduce yourself and give us some inspiring words, my friend.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. And thank you so much for these couple of minutes. I think this is going to be, since I'm really brand new, I mean, we just moved here in June. This will be a little bit of a semi-self-introduction in addition to hopefully some inspiring words. So some of you may know that I am a dean at UCCS of the College of Letters, Arts, and Sciences. Started as a college professor, and I always knew I wanted to teach. I actually have been teaching since I was about 13. I started teaching dance, and I thought it was like the coolest thing that you could, words could come out of your mouth and then suddenly somebody could do something that they couldn't do before. And that was super satisfying to me. So I studied, I knew I wanted to teach college, whatever. I ended up studying Spanish and became a professor. And it just so happened that as I was finishing my PhD, 9/11 happened. And about 2 or 3 months later, I had an interview with West Point. And that ended up being my first job as a professor teaching at the US Military Academy. And I taught there for 12 years. And one of the things that they really inspired me to think about was not only developing individuals, but also developing teams and organizations. So leadership was really kind of a new thought for me, as a West Point professor. And so I've been thinking about that deeply since then. And one of my favorite definitions of leadership actually comes from the Kansas Leadership Institute in Wichita. And they like to say that leadership is an activity, not a role. And that leadership means engaging others to make progress on difficult challenges. So you don't have to, be a dean or be the president to be a leader, that you can lead from wherever you are. And this is one of the reasons why I love Rotary, because we all work together to make progress on some really difficult challenges. And some of those are global, like polio, and some of those are local, like education in my field, or water, which I think we're going to talk about today. So you might have noticed on my Zoom ID that I've put my pronouns, they, them. And you might be wondering what that means. I am a transgender non-binary person. So instead of using he or she pronouns, I ask folks to use they or them to refer to me. And it's not easy if you haven't done it before, and people mess up sometimes, and that's completely fine, I understand. But for a very long time, like pretty much my whole life, I was in denial really about my identity, and not only my gender identity, but also the other aspects of my identity. For example, I'm Hispanic, I'm also Jewish. And I spent a lot of time and energy just kind of trying to assimilate and fit in and be like everybody else. Because as a kid, it doesn't really take you a very long time to realize that pretty much every part of your identity is somehow controversial to someone, and in some cases, not legal. So in fact, until a few months ago, I actually could have been fired at my previous job in South Dakota for my gender identity because it was not a protected category in that state. And I actually went a long time believing that if I wanted to be a dean or if I wanted to be a leader, that I should continue to hide those aspects of my identity and to try to just assimilate and be like everybody else. Then something interesting happened. So as part of my research, I started researching the topic of creativity. And it was really related to my research as a professor, not actually anything that I was doing as a leader per se. And one of the things that became very clear when you research creativity, I think sometimes people think about geniuses, right? Like Einstein or Steve Jobs or Mozart or whatever, this sort of lone genius. But one of the things that research really shows is that people and groups make connections and they create innovations because they're able to connect experiences that they have from disparate fields. And you know, you might actually, the quarantine honestly is a great example. So we've all seen like crazy videos on YouTube or social media where people want to do things, but they can't do it because of COVID. And they found creative ways to make that happen, right? So those are disparate experiences. I just saw a video of a guy who, you know, created like a ski slope in his backyard because he wanted to ski, but he couldn't go skiing. People making like PVC tubes to like send candy down for Halloween and all these kinds of stuff. And so the point is that your experiences and your perspectives matter. What I want to say to inspire you, hopefully, is to be yourself. Okay, hiding behind social expectations does not allow you to contribute your unique experiences to solve problems. Share your story, be authentic, and whatever your experiences are, we can work together in Rotary or in other areas to contribute everybody's experiences towards solving challenges. So that's what I want to say. Be yourself.
Thank you, Dr. Vidler. That was outstanding. Thank you for sharing all that with us. I really appreciate it. And that's a good word to everybody. Be your authentic self. It's cool. You are cool, and we love you.